guys, and welcome on into another episode of Getting Wild with Terry, free NHL picks. I am Terry, ready to break down today's slate. Obviously, it is a small slate with two pretty bad games, but I have some picks in one of them. And then I have a pick in the Wild game. Two picks we'll go over here shortly. We will start the show as we usually do, and that is taking a look at what happened yesterday. So yesterday, starting with that Carolina game, Carolina's lucky to have got the 2 points in that game. They were losing to Montreal for most of the game, but able to tie it up late and get a win in the shootout. Pittsburgh are now 16-0-0 in their last 16 at home against Columbus. But oh boy, did they start it off not too well. 4-0 Pittsburgh lead. Pittsburgh was completely didn't show up for the first two periods. But in the third period, something must have been said in the locker room because oh boy, did Pittsburgh come out and they absolutely dominated the Blue Jackets in the third period and was able to win it in overtime. Philadelphia, Tampa Bay. I kind of thought either it was going to be a close game with Philadelphia possibly winning or Tampa Bay was going to smash them. 5-2 win here, so a bounce back win for Tampa Bay against a weak opponent, which is good news for them. The Devils, I was on the Devils' money line, and that was a heartbreaking loss. They had the 3-2 lead in the third period before allowing a bad goal to tie it, and then immediately taking a penalty. Timo Meier took a penalty, and of course, Toronto scored. They had all the momentum at that time, and then New Jersey loses 4-3. And it's crazy because New Jersey was winning, Carolina was losing. It looked like New Jersey was going to tie Carolina in the Metropolitan race, but obviously in the last few minutes, things changed on both sides. And we'll get to the standings here currently in a few moments. Florida ended their zigzag win-loss with a win, a 2-1 win against the Vegas Golden Knights. A big, huge win for Florida in that game. The Buffalo Sabres went into New York and lost to the Islanders. When it comes to past history stats, there was four big, huge runs between four teams that were on huge, dominating runs against the specific team they faced, all 10-1. And the Islanders are now 11-0 in their last 11 at home against the Buffalo Sabres. A huge win for the Islanders in the playoff race. Calgary, Minnesota, 0-0, went into overtime. Minnesota scored a beautiful goal by the captain, Jared Spurgeon, to win the game. And then, hold on a second, it's apparently offside. Even though there's a video on my Twitter, you can see the NHL deciding one being offside, one being onside. It's quite ridiculous. Of course, the game goes to a shootout. Calgary wins. Big win for Calgary. Big point for the Wild as well. Philip Gustafson, another shutout. He still gets a shutout, even though the Flames won 1-0, because he did not allow a goal in overtime or in regulation. So back-to-back shutouts over the Flames for Philip Gustafson. The Sharks, another team that have been dominated by Colorado in Colorado. Colorado won, so 10-1 in the last 11 meetings now between the teams in Colorado. St. Louis got their butt whooped by the Coyotes, 6-2. Big whooping there. And then the Kraken stopped the Ducks, who were on a pretty hot streak as of late, with a 5-2 win in that one. Looking at the playoff race, it was New Jersey had their chance, but unfortunately for them, things did not go right. Carolina now 4 points ahead of New Jersey for the lead in the Metro. 20 games for Carolina, 19 games for New Jersey. Still a lot of runway left to go. Rangers in third. Boston, Toronto, Tampa Bay, still in the top three in the Atlantic. Islanders and Pittsburgh, the top two wildcard spots. Florida with 70, Ottawa with 68. Pittsburgh and the Islanders both kind of extended their leads yesterday, but they play each other tomorrow. So that will allow somebody, as long as it's not an overtime game, it'll allow somebody to lose and other teams to catch up. Florida, Ottawa, Buffalo, Washington, Detroit, Philadelphia, Montreal, Columbus. Nothing is really going to change too much there. In the East, in the West, Dallas with 81 points. Minnesota 2 points behind with 79. Minnesota can tie Dallas for the division lead with a win today in Winnipeg. Colorado in third place. In the Pacific, Vegas with 82, LA with 82, Seattle with 80. Still a very close race for the division title in the Pacific. We'll see if that continues on the rest of the regular season. Edmonton with 78, Winnipeg with 75, Calgary with 71. Two big wins for Calgary. Kind of have them right here, 4 points behind Winnipeg. Winnipeg does have a game in hand. But Winnipeg is falling. A couple good wins for Calgary. Looking at Nashville, they've got games in hand on everybody above them with 69 points. And then after that, it's the bottom feeders of the Western Conference. We'll bring up the first game that we're going to go over, which is the Minnesota Wild and Winnipeg Jets. We'll jump into the comments. Morning, Terry. Morning, Mossy. Hope yesterday was good to you. Morning, Terry. Hey, Mossy. Terrible call. Yes, for sure. Very frustrating. Hey, Kev. Awesome slate today. Not really, but also, let's go Islanders. Yeah. Looking at this game here to start us off, Minnesota Wild, Winnipeg Jets. The Wild plus 110 to plus 126. Winnipeg minus 133 to minus 150. 5.5s right across the board. There was some movement earlier this morning here. Winnipeg was around minus 130. Now they're around minus 145. Minnesota now plus 125 on the road. It should be Fleury in this game. I don't think that they would go to Gustafsson on the second night of a back-to-back. However, he didn't face a whole lot of shots yesterday, and Minnesota dominated that game. And as well, he has back-to-back shutouts. So, again, it wouldn't surprise me if they did go to Gustafsson. But I'm fine if they go to Fleury. In his last 3 games, yes, not good opponents, but the way Winnipeg's playing right now, they're not exactly the best opponent. But in his last 3 games for Marc-Andre Fleury, 30 save shutout, 2 goals allowed in a win, 22 of 24 saves stopped, and then 21 of 22 saved, 1 goal allowed against Vancouver. So 2 games against Columbus, 1 game against Vancouver, but 3 goals allowed in his last 3 games. Won't bug me if it is Marc-Andre Fleury. The Wild 8-0-2 in their last 10, getting games to overtime and winning them, except obviously for Toronto, the game against Toronto and last night. Winnipeg 2-6-2 in their last 10, and they have Winnipeg, I think, overplayed to their ability for most of the season. I didn't have any expectations with this team whatsoever coming into this year. They've did well for most of the year, but they're kind of falling at the wrong time here. Minnesota, 6-1 and 4-1 wins against the Jets this year, 5-2 in the last 7 meetings. Give me Minnesota as a road dog here. Yes, it doesn't surprise anybody, but I think this is priced incorrectly. I think this should be minus 110 each way. I do not think Minnesota should be plus money here. I don't think Winnipeg should be minus 150 against anybody except maybe Chicago or Columbus or something like that, but not against Minnesota here. And also, I want to bet the under. I'm kind of not sure here. Winnipeg's been an under team as well, so I'm probably pulling the trigger here on the under 5.5 as well, while games just seem to go under all the time. Wild money line, wrong team is favored. Yes, even with Marc-Andre Fleury in net. Holy crap. Nick just completely agreed with everything I said. Everybody clip this. Wow. Can't believe I'm seeing this. I must be wrong. Nick, stay off the Wild. The Wild have won the last 2 times Nick has backed them, Melissa. So he's 2 for 2 the last 2 times he's backed them. They've won. LOL. Have a weird feeling this week's over. Me too. That's why I haven't pulled the trigger yet. But I want to so bad. Because just that's how the Wild are playing. And they're doing it against everyone they play. It's defensive style. I'm just thinking on the second night of a back-to-back, games between these 2 teams have heavily gone over in the past as well. Very high-scoring games. So I'm not on the under right now, but it's a heavy lean. But I do like Wild money line at an underdog price. Going on to this game, we have the Chicago Blackhawks plus 180 to plus 209. Detroit Red Wings minus 225 to minus 250. Sixes, I do see 1.5 in this one. Obviously, this game was a huge rivalry in the past. Obviously, when Detroit was in the Western Conference. I'm assuming it's still a big rivalry. Probably kind of cooled off a little bit. But other than that's all I basically have for you is that it's a rivalry game. I am not taking the Blackhawks, even though it is a nice big plus price for them. I'm not taking the Blackhawks, but I'm definitely not backing the Detroit Red Wings at this price. Seeing sixes is kind of tempting. Stalock off a shutout against the Senators of all teams. I can't get involved with this one. It'll be a lean with the over, but look what Stalock did his last game. I don't know. Winnipeg tends to score more at home too. Yeah, I probably won't touch it. At the total, that is. Old school rivalry. Yeah, it is old school. Blackhawks moneyline Wings is minus 225 on a losing streak. No, thank you. Yeah, pass. Detroit sucks. Yeah, kind of true. Turning into a Hawks fan with the Detroit sucks. No, she's not doing that, Nick. No. Over at plus 100, I think so. For this game, yeah. As long as, or are you talking about the Minnesota game? Probably this game, but I don't, unless Stalock stands on his head again, that's the only way I see it going under. I would say over on this one too. Yeah, you guys like the over. Pawn hockey. Very possible. We could see like a 7-6 type game. I could see that for sure. And moving on to the next wonderful game we have on today's slate. Thank you so much, NHL schedule makers. Once again, a 3-game slate, and you give us 2 of, I'll just leave it at that. Anaheim Ducks plus 170 to plus 195. Vancouver Canucks minus 200 to minus 230. Home favorites. 6.5 across the board in this one. I don't like this game, except there's one player, and it's not for Vancouver. It is for Anaheim, and there is one player that is doing really well lately, and that is Mr. Fowler, Mr. Cam Fowler, one of Anaheim's defensemen. In his last 7 games, he has an assist in 6 of those 7 games. One game he did not get an assist. You can get him to get a point at plus money. You're looking at plus 105 to plus 107. Or you can take him for the assist because, like I said, no goals, but he has 6 assists in 7 games. You can take the assist for plus 145. I think that is a great bet because he's done in 6 of his last 7 games, including last night. And I think that is the only way I could go in this game. Otherwise, it's a pass. Am I tempted to bet on the Ducks? I like the plus money with the Ducks, but I'm not going to be touching it on a second night of a back-to-back. But I do like Cam Fowler to get an assist or a point. Elias Pettersson to get a goal. He has a goal in 2 straight. Basically, the best player Vancouver has by far, Elias Pettersson. Well, I guess Quinn Hughes, but he's a defenseman. But best forward for Vancouver, hands down, Elias Pettersson. Plus 112 for a goal. I see it at minus 110 at other spots. Shop around, but it would be Pettersson goal, Cam Fowler point or assist, depending on what you want. Just got here. The Wild game was so depressing. Brian, I know you had Minnesota money line in the under 6.5 as your best bet. And, you had it until the offside goal got taken away. I know, it's just upsetting. Ducks over 2.5. Team total over 2.5 and the over in the game, full game over. This is going to be an entertaining game for two shitty teams. Pond hockey again. All right. Bolivier props for Vancouver. He's been good since the trade. Yeah, looking at him, it's hard to find. It was hard for me to find anything for him. I think his points total, is minus 140. So out of my price range, and I don't like either a goal or an assist enough to take one or the other. So that's why I was off him. But that is today's slate. We will go and look at what happened yesterday in the best bet segment. Once again, a rough day. It happens. It's the long game. That's why we split things up month per month. But March has been awful for most of us. So it is what it is. We just keep plugging away. And Kaprizov anytime goal did not cash. So for the first time in 7 games, he did not score after not getting a point. As I said, for Captain Bride, the under 6.5 Minnesota money line, heartbreaking loss. Blue Jays lost against the Pittsburgh Pirates for Crystal. Nick does not condone parlays, but is 2-2 on his parlays on best bets, cashing Islanders Colorado for plus money. Kev went with a Columbus Pittsburgh over 6.5. The Penguins made sure that you cashed that going off in the third period. Melissa and Kev both went with Vegas money line, which I liked as well. Close loss. Tim went with Thompson and Cousins anytime goal. He got Cousins, did not get Thompson. IceX went with Columbus and Calgary, both on the money line. Calgary squeaked by with a win. Columbus did not. Looking at the standings, even though I'd rather not, but it is what it is. Full transparency around here. Kev and Nick tied for first place, 1.84 units up. Everybody else in the red. Myself, 0-5 in best bets so far this month. Not acceptable, but keep plugging along. And I'm confident that I will get back to the green before the end of the month. So I'm willing to say that. Looking at today's best bets, and it's not going to be too much of a surprise here. I'm going with the Wild money line as a dog here. When I'm struggling with the best bet, one team I can count on. That's my Wild. Plus 126 as a road dog here in this one. I won again. I know. Shocking. You and Kev Betts fighting for first place right now. No team to... Oh, wow, Nick. Wow. Well, Nick's winning his best bet, so I guess I should be happy that we're both on the same side. I guess I should be, but all right. Not a lot for people to choose today, so I can't really give you shit either. Kev_Betts likes Chicago and Detroit over 6 for plus money. All right. That is currently it for at the moment. If you're watching the show after, which most people do, watch the show after, feel free to put in your best bet. It's anyone's game right now with how things have gone so far in the month of March. So feel free to put your best bet in the comments when the video is done. Best of luck to everybody today. Huge slate tomorrow, and I have 10 picks in 10 games. I don't know exactly how many games there are. I think there's like 2 that I passed on, but love tomorrow's slate. So make sure to tune in tomorrow's show. If you like unders, you may not like tomorrow's slate, in my opinion. There's 7 overs I like, and I'm not usually a totals guy, but I love tomorrow's slate. But leaning wild money line is best bet. We'll post later. Yes, no problem. That is today's show. Best of luck to everybody today. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, hit the like button. Appreciate all the support. And we'll be back again tomorrow for another episode. Getting Wild with Terry, free NHL picks. Best of luck, guys.